No, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Open my eyes! Eyes! Ah!
Hello and welcome to Shite Talk, I think, or is it Talk and Shite? I'm not 100% sure what we call it.
Too old for this shite.
Well, yes, it's obviously too old for this shite. But yeah, this is our Shite Talk episode where it's like we don't go into a deep dive of anything. We just kind of discuss some of the movie news, kind of upcoming films and things that we've watched this week, like little quick reviews. And this week, like I was saying, some news. We're going to be talking a bit about Scream 7, the movies that we looked at, Final Destination, Bloodlines, and The Carpenter son. So yeah, we're a bit behind on things since I think Final Destination might have came out a year ago.
Oh, probably at least a year ago.
Yeah, they're trying to get through the backlist, or the backlog. It's fucking way worse than my Steam fucking backlog at this stage, which is saying something. But I suppose kind of the big news this week was the whole acquisition of Warner Brothers by Paramount. That they outbid, or there was some deal struck with Netflix where Paramount were after buying it. So I think everyone is after kind of breathing a sigh of relief that Netflix didn't acquire Warner Brothers, because it'd be like, oh my god,
Everything is just going to shit.
Well, you see, the whole thing, say whatever about the Warner Brothers films, but as well DC is caught up with the whole Warner Brothers thing, and there's other bits and pieces. So there was like a whole fear of like, oh my god, Netflix are going to destroy like the whole Batman fucking thing. Paramount, I don't know, there's always going to be people saying, oh, it's going to be terrible and it's going to be this and that, but let's face it, kind of Warner Brothers wasn't doing a great job anyway. Paramount, it'll probably just, hopefully nothing will change. But I think one of the big fears with Netflix, if they had to succeed in buying it, was that you wouldn't see as many films going out to cinemas anymore, and as well a lot of the streaming stuff that they do. Well, a lot of the films that are Netflix made films, that they're getting bad. They're just shit. I have massive issues with Netflix. I think it's people, they boycott a lot of stuff that have connections with Trump, and for some reason people aren't doing it with Netflix. I don't understand why. You look at the connection that Netflix has with a lot of these fucking Joe Rogan sphere comedians. Yeah. It's the same with the WWE, who are like basically like fucking Linda McMahon is part of the Trump administration. Triple H gave speeches. There's like, we used to love the WWE. Just got to the point where it's like, no, you can't support this
whole
company.
Part of the whole MAGAverse.
Cancel their Netflix thing. So it's like Netflix are very much, I think, in it. So, but I suppose it's harder to cancel your subscription to Netflix than it is to kind of turn around and say, oh, well, I'm not doing this or not doing that.
Yeah, I'm not going to use Barclays Bank, even though I've never used Barclays Bank before in my whole life, kind of a thing.
Yeah, but like, I suppose that was really the big news. And the other news, I think, this week that kind of got my attention was all the reviews for Scream 7.
Oh.
I think it was, to no one's surprise that would have been following it, that it's getting like shit on from a height.
Oh, really? I haven't heard any of this week now. I've had my head totally out of any kind of news this week.
But the whole thing with Scream 7, there was like a load of bullshit too before it was made. There was like, when they rebooted it with they tried rebooting it with Scream 4, and I think that fell flat in its face. Then they gave it another few years. They tried rebooting it with 5 and 6. So at 6 was okay, but I can't remember it saved life. But the stars that they had with 6 that they were going along with, there was a whole issue where one of them made, I think, some pro-Palestinian statement. The people that, whoever were making it, they were saying, we're firing her, she's not going to be part of the next film. And then it's the one who plays Wednesday Addams. I fucking can't remember. She was in Beetlejuice, the new Beetlejuice as well.
I was going to say Christina Ricci, but
she
not.
dropped out of a thing as well because and then the directors of it dropped out of it. There was this whole thing where it's like, yeah, look, if you're gonna be doing this shit, so then there was like a couple of different people were involved with directing it and writing it, and they all kind of dropped out, or one thing or another happened. So they went back to the guy who wrote the original Scream, who's not really a director, and he's after doing this, and apparently it's got a lot of AI slop in it. There's stuff where they bring back like a lot of the dead stars. They basically bring it back as deep fakes, is my understanding, because I was like, how are they bringing it? I thought Dewey died in the last one. I thought, you know, but I think they probably underestimate, or that they not underestimate, but they miscalculate people's interest in the Scream franchise. It's not like the Avengers. It's not like, I don't have any attachment to any of the characters, and you know, where it's
they keep killing them all off, like, for starters, you know.
But, like,
Scream was big back in the early 2000s.
But even Nev Campbell's main character, I can't remember her fucking Sydney.
Yeah,
like, she's just bland. There's nothing about it. It's not like she's fucking
I think the only two characters that people cared about were Courtney Cox and what's
Dewey.
his name? Arquette.
Arquette, yeah. And Matthew Lillard was brilliant in it as well. But like all the rest of them, it's just like, who fucking cares, you know? And then like the sequels, I thought were fucking shit anyway. They were like, the second one was bad, and the third one was even worse. Fourth one was terrible. It's at least with like Friday the 13th, there's some fun in it. Where it's like, yeah, like Jason's a fucking walking zombie, quite possibly a deadite, where like there is this whole thing where they say that like the Friday the 13th is an Evil Dead movie. It's apparently linked in with all that, so you know, there's a bit of fun with the Evil Dead, whereas with the Scream movies, it's like, who cares, you know?
Yeah, there you are, shitting on things from a height, and you're always like, oh, I'm not going to talk about things unless I find them cool or interesting. Now you're just I don't like
that's
this.
For the other podcast.
Yes, all right. this is your let me rant at things. This is different.
We're not going to be fucking talking good about like some of the films that we're after looking at, but going on with like stuff that slightly excited about coming up. There was a couple of trailers. I think you've seen some of these trailers. But there's a game that's kind of made or inspired by John Carpenter. He has some involvement in it, called John Carpenter's Toxic Commandos. Gunship, for anyone familiar with their like synthwave band. Yeah. And they're really good. I quite like Gunship.
Quite like them. Jesus Christ, you've been mad about them for like what, going on?
Yeah, but they've had John Carpenter narrating over some of their songs, introducing some of their songs, and as well there's a documentary called, Jesus Christ, I can't remember what the fucking documentary is called, but it's about synthwave, and John Carpenter narrates that as well. So
it's not I Dream of Wires, is it?
No, I Dream of Wires came out just slightly before. Fuck, I can't remember if I have it. I don't know, my memory is just gone. But yeah, that looks quite interesting. It's like a zombie horde game. But I thought just bring him because I think John Carpenter, on reflect, he never comes into my mind, or he never used to come into my mind as being my favourite director. He used to be always Sam Raimi, and then the more I think of it, it's like, there's way more John Carpenter films that I like.
That you like, exactly, yeah.
And like, it was when we were doing a previous podcast, and we noticed that it was like every second week we were covering a John Carpenter film for quite a long time as well. So, and then it was kind of like, yeah, John Carpenter is like, he's always been like, from a Cage like movies, like the Fog would have been a big movie when we were kids.
And The Thing.
Yeah, and The Thing. Although I didn't see The Thing until I was a teenager, I think. But yeah, that looks quite interesting. The trailer dropped for Mortal Kombat 2. Yeah. Which it seems like fucking forever since the first, like the reboot. Yes. This one's got Carl Urban as Johnny Cage.
Urban.
Yeah, Urban. As Johnny Cage in it. And it looks like it could be fun. I just seem to remember liking the first one. Let's go back and watch it again, where I think it was more focused on Sub-Zero and Scorpion, that one.
Get over here.
No. So that looks, I think that's coming out very soon. And then there was an unusual one which I'd never really heard of. It's directed by the woman who did I saw the TV Glow, which is another one that's on the backlog to look at, and it looks like a weird kind of version of Stranger Things. Well, this one is called Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma. It's starring Gillian Anderson.
Oh.
It looks really weird. I don't know what the fuck it's about. It looks like it might be someone delving into their subconsciousness through horror movies that they've seen. I don't know, like, I have no idea what it's about, but it looks like it could be really good. At least
Why would you name your camp Miasma?
I don't think it is going to be Camp Miasma.
No, what I have in my head is that Go song and Papa Niall coming out with his saxophone.
Oh yeah. And another one is Yeti. The Yeti. Which it looks like it could be quite fun. It reminds me a bit of, remember that game that we used to play on was it PlayStation 2? You said Time Splitters.
Oh shit, what was that? Tell me a bit more about that. Remind me. What?
I can't remember. but there was people in it that were like archaeologists and stuff. That was like a piss take of Indiana Jones, and it was just, there was something, because it was people from different times that were like traveling through time. I can't remember what the team, but there was multiplayer on it. I think it was one of the first multiplayer games that we played.
I have zero recollection of this,
But it kind of reminds me of that, where it's like this kind of 1940s, 1950s maybe thing, where it's like someone gets killed by a Yeti and they go off hunting for the Yeti, where it's like a team of people. It looks like it could be kind of fun, but it looks like it could be quite horrific as well.
Oh, cool.
I don't know what way it's going to fall. And then
Fun,
the last
horrific.
trailer, because there was like, it was an IGN thing this week, so there seems to be a load of trailers dropped, but there's going to be a sequel to In a Violent Nature as well,
yes,
which we must, that's another one on the backlog,
the list
for a long
the
time. We
to
started
watch
looking
list.
at it, and I think we fell asleep fucking when it came out, and then we're like,
that's nothing got to do with the film though. It's just that we're old and tired.
But so
that's a list of stuff that must be watched or to keep an eye out for, I suppose.
So this week we were watching.
What did we watch? Yes.
The two films. I suppose we'll talk about Final Destination, Bloodline first, and then we'll talk about The Carpenter Son.
Well, they both kind of have a Final Destination.
We finished off looking at It, Welcome to Derry.
Yes.
Which fucking blown away, but you weren't really paying too much attention to the
No,
first
at the start,
and
but
second.
oh my god, I fucking got totally suckered in. Like, wow, my god.
It's amazing.
Phenomenal.
I don't understand how there's not more people.
The special effects, the horror, the gruesomeness of it all. It's blown my mind how this is like a TV series rather than a big scale film.
I don't understand how they got away with it. I think that maybe it kind of went under the radar as well, so a lot of people didn't see the brutality of the deaths in this.
The violence against children.
It's fucking astounding.
And even some of the violence, it's kind of like, it's done almost like hilariously, but it's horrific.
Yeah.
Like there's one scene, I won't get into it too much, but like there's a scene where one of the kids has her eyeballs damaged, but it's like, it's hilarious but gruesome.
It starts off funny, but that's where a lot of these things are where
they
so
start off
weird.
kind of like carnivalish, I suppose, and clownish and funny.
Then it gets
slapstick,
horrendous.
and then it goes horrendous.
But like some of the stuff in it was just, I really can't wrap my head around it. But like lore wise, it's fucking like for any Stephen King fans or fans of it. It like really expands on the whole, and it feels like it's part of the. It doesn't feel like it's someone just coming in and like
trying to like fucking staple gun something onto it. Yeah, it feels like it's actually properly woven into it.
Yeah, and it feels so true to it. It feels
it's
like
organic.
It could be something out of the Dark Tower if they had like a chapter, or they went to Derry when they were like going through the fucking.
Was Stephen King involved in this?
I don't think so.
Jesus.
It was your man Andy Machete and his wife who would have directed the original, well not the, but like the latest films. Yeah. And who else was a producer? Bill Skarsgård was the producer on this as well. And like, I mean, Pennywise isn't in it a lot at first, and then when he's a fucking far nastier version of Pennywise than in the films. There's a lot of stuff about time dilation. And like, without giving away anything, there's going to be a season 2. I hope. It looks like there's going to be, and it's
not finished on it. Don't worry if you're watching that. It finishes on a cliffhanger, and you have to wait. It's an entirely self-contained thing, and it's on to another chapter, I suppose. You know, you're not watching this and going, oh Jesus, I have to wait till season 2 to find out what happens.
I don't know where they're going to go with season 2, because it's not going to be a thing where it's like they're going to jump 27 years into the future with it, because 27 years into the future is going to be the It film.
Yeah, the present as such.
It's just, I can't say enough good, and as well it is, I don't want to spoil anything about it, but if you're a Stephen King fan, fucking
this is for you.
Yeah, and if you're a Dark Tower fan, definitely watch this.
Or if you're a fan of horror at all, tinged with comedy,
if you're a fan of children being horrifically maimed.
Yes, exactly. Traumatized children.
And it's one of the best things about this, I think, is no one is fucking safe in it, and you get that from the first episode. It's like no one is safe.
Yeah,
people that you think that this is going to be about, forget about.
Absolutely. And you think characters that are safe right up until like the second last episode, you're like, they're going to see it through. It's like, nope. No, that's it.
This is horror. Like, it is proper horror.
This is Stranger Things done properly.
Yeah, this is the way Stranger Things should have been done, where it's like in Stranger Things, you knew no one was going to die of importance. Like, it's they're not going to do it. They might but it's like they won't. It's like you kind of you hope people won't die, but they fucking will. But we're going to end up giving away things about it. So jumping into fucking Final Destination, Bloodlines, it's obviously part of the fucking Final Destination franchise. This time around, it takes a different bit of a spin with it, where it's about a family that's it's one woman survived the whole thing from the start of it, where it's like this Sky Tower restaurant collapses, everyone fucking dies.
She has a premonition and she manages to save all the lives.
It's the usual thing.
Yeah, death comes after him. She's the last one, so it's coming after her and her family. She's because an old lady at this stage.
Existed because she survived.
That's it.
So it's more of a family instead of friends, which it normally is.
Yeah, so it's kind of down to her like grandkids at this stage kind of thing, because she survived that long. So it's and the family of course thinks she's just some old nutty woman who's like grandma living in the fucking log cabin in the woods kind of a thing. Yeah, whatever.
But it's got the usual thing, the usual stuff they did expect from Final Destination. And like, I'm sure probably most people are after seeing it now that are going to see it. Like, we were probably like well behind on it, so I'm not going to get into the whole fucking plot of it or anything like that.
Yeah, but it has the usual, like it sets up, it's like, there's a rake, there's like pieces of glass, there's like, a bit of wire, and there's like it's like, what is it going to be this time? How is it going to get him? And then it's like it's totally inventive again.
Some of the stuff kind of throws you off, like they do with some of the other films, where it's like, you think this is going to happen and it goes another way. Now, personally, I thought it was fine. I didn't really like it though. It just irritated me because there was so much potential to it, and I think the special effects on it were terrible. I think the CGI was really, really bad, and I think that ruined a lot of it.
I think they could have gone all out with the deaths as well. There was they didn't even have the sort of the pizzazz of the previous films, where it's like they were hamming it up a lot. I think the previous films, they were like, oh my God, it's this? Could it be this? Could it be this? Could it be this? They had a little bit of that, but I think they didn't even like ramp up the tension. It was just like, it was all kind of like normal film, like the family kind of having a little chat, and then it was like, we'll have a little bit of, it might be this, there's a trampoline, there's a rake in the garden, and then it's like, the accident happens, and that's it. Like, and then there's a long time till the next death scene.
And it feels a bit like Stranger Things, where they nearly automatically jump to it's death.
Yeah.
Tony Todd pops up in it, and I think it might have been the last movie that he was in. And he's like, you do look at it and you kind of go, God, this guy, like, I mean, he was such a great actor. And to a certain extent, I think he was, like, I mean, he had a great career, I'm not saying that, but, like, he was wasted.
Yeah, they literally just had him in one scene, and he delivered about 5 lines, and then just like
I don't even mean just in this. I think kind of like, career wise, like the guy could have been in fucking. I think he could have been like an Oscar contender. If he was given the right movies.
Fucking Candyman! Oh my God!
Yeah. But I just didn't like the film. It bored me to tears, like at points, like some of the
wasn't enough, like there wasn't enough grew, and there wasn't enough death, and there wasn't enough comedy in it either as well,
and all the characters were like just really unlikable. They were just fucking... Like, I mean, at least in the other Final Destination... Well, Final Destination 1 and 2, I think, were probably the best out of the whole thing. You had a mixture of characters. Everyone was slightly different. In this, they're just all just fucking bland or just shitheads.
Yeah. A bit whingy and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like, I mean, that's Final Destination. It's all about the sort of... The first one, all right, was kind of something different and people weren't really expecting it. And then after that, it did become about like, oh, how's it going to happen? Like, you know, how's it going? So it's all about anticipating the deaths and all the rest. And it just, there was too long in between the actual kind of the setup of the death scene and all the rest. And
There,
it was
there
just,
wasn't
it was,
enough really in it
that's
because
what I mean.
it was
It's
like you're
like, that's
dealing
the
with a
whole thing of-
family of...
yeah.
And then some of the main characters that do die in it, it's very quick and it's
But that's
just...
why it's like what, a family of 6. So that's like 6 across the whole film or something like that. Whereas normally Final Destination is like, it's a plane full of people.
Yeah,
you know
and
what
they're
I mean?
not even clever deaths in some of them.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, oh, something just goes through someone's head.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, a lot of people seem to think this is one of the best ones out of the... You know, I think the opening scene is very good, but they have
that's done incredibly well.
It's that
the
weird
premonition
sheen
scene.
as well. Yeah, there is like with your woman's head getting crushed in between the building when it's...
Yeah.
No, that was the garbage truck.
Yeah, no, I actually no, the opening. That's one thing I'd say. I think they probably shot their wad a bit at the start because the premonition of the Sky Lounge collapsing, that was done fantastically. And I was like, when that happened, I was like, this is going to be fucking brilliant. And then it was just like, meh after that. Yeah. So I think if you're going to watch it, watch the opening scene and then like just go, that was a great film for 15 minutes and finish.
The end is kind of predictable, to the point where it's, I don't like. I mean, I don't want to spoil the end, but it's just like you didn't go away satisfied from the end, and it was just.
But there is no iconic scenes. Like, I mean, there's. I think we said it before in one of our other podcasts. Like, there's people of our generation, the kind of the Gen X and the Zennials and all the rest. None of us will drive behind a truck with fucking logs on it because of Final Destination. You're all like, oh, I'm getting away from this.
That ends up playing a role in a thing as well. And they go to where they threaten some of the things, like when someone gets killed in the first Final Destination with the bus just comes along and fucking plows out when you don't expect it. Yeah. And there's bits and pieces like that. But as well, the guy that I think everyone's going to root for, the tattoo artist or the piercer fella, he's just a horrible character. And it's like someone doesn't understand that type of person that they're writing it, and they're like, oh well, if they're into tattoo, if they work in a tattoo studio, they're going to be like this and they're going to be like that, and it's just like, I don't know, it just
too stereotypical
just,
kind of thing.
I gave it, like on Letterboxd, I gave it a 1 out of 5. I disliked it that much.
No, I didn't. No, I enjoyed it, but I do enjoy the Final Destination films. Yeah. I just wouldn't rate it as highly as obviously the original ones because, as I said, I enjoy it because I enjoy the anticipation. And actually, I actually do think, if you remember, there was an episode of Supernatural where Dean was cursed with bad luck. Yeah. Do you remember that? Yeah. That actually did a better job of Final Destination type fucking pranks than this film did. Like, to this day, there
was no clever
that's
kind
it.
of setup.
Like, I mean, you need to have like accidents in this where like it sticks with you. Like, to this day, I can't like leave cutlery with fork prongs sticking up the way. I have to have them pointing down the way when they're drying in the tray.
That was meant to be the whole point to it, where it's like death will get you when you least expect it, not with like, oh, you're going to fall into a bin and get crushed in a garbage. Yeah,
or like you'll happen to be standing beside an MRI machine that's going to suck you in. Like you know?
that was done quite good, and apparently I saw some of the making of it, and that was practical effects, but it looks CGI, and I don't know what they did. I think maybe that they might have put some kind of sheen over it or filter over some of the things to try and make it all kind of like be unified or kind of more coherent, like as an image, kind of like the whole film. And it just made everything look fucking CGI. It was like what George Lucas did with fucking The Phantom Menace. You know, whereas like things that weren't CGI, they ended up
they had a look of it, But it's Final Destination is all about making you think like, fuck, this could happen to me in my own bathroom kind of a thing. And it's not often you're going to be standing beside an MRI machine. Well, hopefully, touch wood, you're not going to be standing.
But a lot of stuff was stupidity. It was like stupid things that they did. There's this whole story about the main character's mother as well, like that she disappeared, and they don't really get into it. She's hardly in it at all until the end, and The
Yeah.
father is like non-existent. He just disappears.
Yeah,
out
like
of
that.
it.
It's like, oh, it's a family curse, and oh well, it's you're not blood related, so it doesn't like you're not going to die. And he's like, oh, grand, I'm just going to fucking
Yeah.
stay home. So see ya. And he's like, but it's your son and daughter are
Yeah.
going to get killed
And
as
the
well.
acting
Like,
I thought was desperate. In
Yeah.
it. Like I really did. The more I start talking about,
I
it,
know, the
I
more you
kinda-
get angry
I remember
about it.
how much I didn't like
Yeah.
it. And as well, it's like nearly 2 hours long.
yeah, that's the thing. It's over. If they condensed it, had the death scenes closer together, it would have been a much tighter film, much more enjoyable
Yeah.
film.
And like we are the target market
Yeah,
for something like
that's
this,
it,
and it's
yeah.
just like nah.
Nah.
So would you recommend it to people? Would you say it's
As I said,
shite or underrated?
I think if you want to watch the Sky Lounge scene, and then just kind of go, it's probably enough there.
Yeah.
Just turn it off after that. It's an okay film. It's fine for having on the background of a Friday night if you're having a few pints or something like that. If you're a Final Destination completist, yeah, of course. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But it's not going to hit the heights of the original Final
And
Destinations.
obviously, I just think it's a bag of shite. Fucking like I'll never look at this again. But then onto something where I think the two of us are going to have very different opinions on this one. It's The Carpenter's Son, directed by he's a friend of mine. He's got the first name of a friend of mine, and I can't remember his second name. Lofty, the fuck is his second name? Where the hell is he? I'm looking at Lofty Nathan, starring Nicolas Cage as the carpenter in the film. Like, I'm not going to get it. I've seen other people review it where they're saying it's some kind of like family, because they never really use. People say they don't use their names, and they do.
They actually call him Yeshua.
Yeah, like I don't know where people are getting. Like, I mean, it does start off with they're in hiding, basically, but it's the story of Jesus when he was a teenager, taken from the Apocrypha books, which were like these books that were kind of banned from the Bible by different popes over the years and different religious groups that were saying, no, we don't agree with that. That can't be.
Yeah, that's
like,
not in the true Bible.
There's like
so
hundreds of these books were taken out of the Bible. If you're a fan of Danzig, there's a famous clip of Danzig with Danzig's bookshelf. Look it up.
Yeah.
And Danzig actually is talking about it. He's got one of the Apocrypha books, and that's the one that this is based on, where it's talking about Jesus kills a blind kid, or he blinds a kid and he kills another kid. That's this one. They don't have all the mad shit that's in that, but they do have some of the mad shit that's in it. About, like, there's stuff about fucking Jesus tormenting people. He's kind of a little shit in it, using these powers.
He's a teenager, discovering, I can do stuff,
And it's probably more realistic, I think, in the whole story of Christ than like, oh, he was like a fucking saint when he was a kid. Because he loved the sinners, so people that generally loved the sinners, they were fucking sinners themselves, you know? You have to be, everyone has to fucking, you can't be good all the time.
Yeah.
And it's what he's only human. That's why he's all about forgiveness or whatever.
That's it.
But this follows during Jesus's like teenage years, and it starts off with the whole thing with Herod killing fucking babies, so they were like on their
It's
own.
a horrific opening scene because it just
Babies being
shows
fucked on
soldiers
fires.
throwing infant babies just being thrown on pyres of fires, and like it just shows babies like screaming as they get burnt alive, and it's just kind of like, oh,
it's mental. Like,
this is kind of a horrific kind of an opener.
it reminds me, like, the whole film, and like it's shot very well. The whole film reminds me of grimdark Warhammer.
Everything reminds you.
But it does though. There's fucking like there's scenes in it where they're like in and it's like places where they're like, oh, people that they think are like sorcerers or that have communed with spirits, where they're just fucking, they're either crucified, they're just tied to boulders, with people just walking by fucking tormenting.
It's like, I think it's like the punishment grounds kind of a
there's
thing.
people with leprosy lying all around. It's just a fucking hellhole. Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
and it's I don't know how historically accurate it is, but you do look at it and go, oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, this doesn't look nice.
Yeah, but so fucking Nicolas Cage plays Jesus's father. Well,
Yeah,
he's
Joseph.
adopted father.
Yes, his stepdad.
Yeah, and he's struggling to kind of cope with Jesus's emergent powers, and he's like very keen that they all stay hidden and away in this new village that they settle in. But like Jesus is getting up to his shenanigans, healing people. He ends up like at the start with healing
accidentally healing them, yeah.
And there's this like that they call the stranger in it, which is quite obviously Satan.
In the form of a teenage girl,
yeah.
Which all teenage girls are the devil, basically.
Yeah, they are.
I can remember being one myself.
It's the way that Satan appears as differently, and there's a part where it appears as like the way that Joseph sees him, and he's like, I saw you when they were on the run at first, and it's like Satan's been following him. But the way it's done, like he does this weird hand movement and and it's just, I think it's done really well.
Of course it is. Yeah.
I fucking loved the film. Nicolas Cage, I think, is really good in it. He overacts, but he doesn't overact as much as he does in other stuff. I've seen other reviews where they're like, he's just over the top. It's just Nicolas Cage, and it's like, it is Nicolas Cage, but he's like at that Sean Connery stage where it's like,
I'm not putting on an accent. This is my accent, and I'm going to talk like
if you're
Nicolas
hiring
Cage.
Nicolas Cage for a role,
you're
hiring because you want Nicolas Cage. The kid that plays Jesus in it, I think he was in A Quiet Place or something like that. And then the one that plays Mary is FKA Twigs, so I think is a pop star or something.
Alright.
And
she baffled me. I don't know why. I don't know why they chose her or what the story was, because she looked about 2 years older than Jesus anyway.
Yeah, but that's deliberate, like, because in the whole thing, it was
I know
Mary
she was meant to be like 12 or something like that when she had it.
12 when she had him.
But she didn't even look 12 years older than him, and she just kind of like mooned around the place, just looking all sorts.
She
of
wasn't great, like, in it, but she didn't. I think. She didn't annoy me as much as she annoyed you. Yeah. In it, but yeah, I think they could have got someone with a bit more range that kind of gave like Mary a bit more gravitas.
Well, that's what I mean. Okay, I know she it was probably an impossible role to play, but it was. She just, as I said, looked about 2 years older than him. She just kind of mooned around a bit, and she was like, meh. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You think she'd have a bit more emotional range or something like that. She's like, oh my God, I've been tasked with like being the mother of God. It's
like it happens that there were like Joseph is
like Joseph seems like he gets it. He seems like he realizes the depth of the fucking responsibility.
But as well, he's kind of like, is he a fucking demon or is he like the actual
That's what I mean.
son
he's
of God?
questioning
like,
stuff, and he's like
not
worried
doing
about
like everything he does isn't like great.
Yeah.
And like I think the one that played Satan is fucking phenomenal in it because like people like I'm big into like say ancient religions and things.
Good,
like
I thought you were going to say teenage girls there for a minute. I was like, oh my God.
I'm not like Christian, but like I mean we're obviously raised Catholic, and I always love the background, the history to it all. I studied theology in college.
I was just going to say theology is your thing,
yeah, and there's quite a lot in this. Say if you're into the lore, for lack of a better word, there's a lot of stuff like that gets into it where it's like there's
here we go with Warhammer again.
Yeah. Where it's like Horus shows up at one point, but like with Satan, where when Satan is talking to Jesus at one point, and she goes like, "We're the same," and it used to be part of like the belief that I think with some of the Gnostics that like Satan and Jesus were siblings. And this is the whole thing where kind of they did a kind of a switch, because Satan was kind of like the master of the world, kind of like how this was his realm. So what it was like God kind of pulled a switcheroo on him by like letting Jesus die for, but then he brought him back so he could ascend to heaven. There was all this weird fucking there was way more like weird shit in that, like, you know, the original kind of form of Christianity than there is now. But they have that in it, you know, there's allusions to all that, and even the whole thing with like Jesus forgiving Satan,
Michael.
But like Jesus killing the kid, where he's just in a bad mood and he looks at him and he just dies. And stuff.
That's real Superman power, isn't it?
And he's just
my
like,
X-ray vision.
Oh shit! I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Whoopsie.
But it feels a little bit like Dune, and like being Dune in itself is meant to be a take on Christianity, and messiahs and stuff. But like one of the things that I will say about, I can see
he's not the messiah.
He's a
very naughty boy.
Like there's a lot like if you're expecting a horror movie with this. I think you're going to be disappointed, and I think that's what a lot of people were disappointed about, because they were either expecting like the Passion of the Christ or a fucking like the Exorcist, and
It's neither.
It's
Absolutely neither.
I think it's a hard film to market. I think it's going to find its audience over the years. I don't think it's going to find it at the moment, because I think it's like a religious curio fucking thing. It's shot incredibly well. I think the guy who plays Jesus in it is brilliant as Jesus, and Satan. They're great, and it's just the view. It's something I don't think they've actually shown before, like how shitty things were back then. You know, the way normally you say with because we were Catholic, and in Ireland, fucking every Easter they'd always be like various either films or TV shows about the life of Christ, and some of them. There was a big one with, oh God, what was his name? Robert Powell as Jesus. It was a TV series, and I seem to remember that was very clean. You know what I mean? Like it was like, say, marble kind of temples and all that were, and then even like fucking at Last Temptation of Christ, it was kind of like, say, more desert, but it was still kind of clean. Everyone, you go into people's houses and it was like people were kind of normal. Whereas this is like nearly something out of Conan the fucking Barbarian.
Yeah, I suppose it's hot and it's sweaty and it's gritty and it's dusty and dirty.
People are
and
assholes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then like there's still like people worshipping like fucking pagan gods.
Yeah. Sure, that was the whole thing when Joseph reached the village at first. Like, yeah, you can have a job. You're a carpenter. You can carve an idol for the local church.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I don't want to carve an idol. It's against my beliefs. And I was like, well,
if you
a
want
job for you, if you
and
want
he's
money.
like, all right, I'll do it, yeah. But yeah, there's like, so it's just, I don't know. I really like it. You know, Cosmos, Cosmo
Kramer,
Cosmatos, the guy that did Mandy.
All right,
and
yes.
Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Yeah.
It kind of has that visual style to something. Like near the end where there's the whole thing where like Jesus is like sitting down having a chat with Satan, and then they have a fight, and Jesus just goes, fuck this shit, and like batters fucking like a young girl.
Who is Satan though, remember?
What?
Who is Satan?
Like as the actress?
No, I said, you're saying, oh, it batters the young girl, but like remember the young girl is Satan, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but I'm just saying, when that scene is happening and the sky changes and there's a lot going on, there's like a lot of weird noises going on in the background. That was like done really well. It's not scary. I think if someone called it a fantasy movie, it'd probably be more accurate. But if you'd called it that, then you're fucking...
You're into. I know you're getting you're offending certain sections of society.
Yeah, so I can understand why he was probably, oh, maybe I won't have like it overtly about like this is like, oh, Joseph's story or whatever, because then you're going to have like, you can't do anything without drawing some kind of controversy to it, which it shouldn't. It should be just looked at as a film in its own right. And I really liked it. I know you didn't.
No, it's not that I didn't like it. It's just, I don't know. As I said, I thought, for some reason, Mary just really irritated me. And I was like, for fuck's sake, just buck up a bit, would you? For Christ's sake. Like, well, literally for Christ's sake. But I don't know. As I said, I liked Satan in it. Thought she did a great job and all the rest.
Well done, Satan.
Huh?
Well done, Satan.
Yeah, fair play to you, Satan. That's great. But I don't know. I kind of found it a bit overly long as well. There was a lot of just sort of like...
It wasn't even an hour and a half.
But it felt long. It just felt like a lot of it was just like... I don't know. If it was... this is sound terrible, but if it wasn't about Jesus trying to find himself, it was just like a bit of a tedious like story about a teenage boy having a bit of a sulk. Yeah. And that's what it was.
Not much really happens in it. I will give it that. Not much. It's more about the mood and the tension. And I think about the historic period as well, where like there are certain things where they're like, oh, throw dirt down in front of the doorstep. And if there's like a chicken's footprints on it, an evil spirit being in. There's a bit where a girl gets dragged out of her bed and gets possessed by a demon. And I thought that was fairly fucking creepy. And when Jesus does the exorcisms, that was done very well and very unusual, I think. But as I said, I think it was, again, I know, as you said, it's like, oh, it's all about like sort of the journey and creating tension and mood and blah blah blah. But it was, if you had just not used those names in the film, shall we say? Oh yeah, no,
it was like, oh, this teenage boy is just having a bit of a fucking tantrum, and he's having a bit of like, oh, where's my place in the world?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a Kevin and Perry type of a thing.
But he's not even really like that. I think he's just kind of angry.
I know, but that's what I mean. It's just like it's just a teenage tantrum kind of film, you know. And it's like, okay, fair enough, but
I think that's
it's adding a bit of extra weight to it by like, oh, but it's Jesus' tantrum.
But see, I think that's the whole thing with it.
Yeah.
It's like it was a Superman story where it's like, oh look, like, you know, he was human. You know, they kind of like, that's the whole thing with Jesus, where it's meant to be he's like divine and human, and it's like
oh, he went through his puberty phase as well, like having a bit of a fucking strop about it.
Whereas I think stuff like that,
my fucking stepdad don't understand me, like.
But I think stuff like that in the story of Jesus is probably more helpful or better for people that you can kind of put yourself in these shoes.
You can appreciate it, I suppose, more the sacrifice.
Yeah, but then there's more of a thing where you can there's more of like saying, oh well, maybe I could be more like Jesus because he did this and he did that when he was younger.
Yes.
As opposed to kind of like, oh, he was fucking like perfect,
a divine being, so I couldn't possibly be like Jesus.
So I think, you know, I don't know, like, I mean,
we find it all inspirational. Are we becoming born again, are we?
Well, I've always kind of like believed in some of the stuff, more so from the other side.
So you're like, ooh, Satan.
That is part of, because like one of my favorite parts of the fucking Last Temptation of Christ was Satan, and that the version of Satan that was actually great. Like we've told this story before, not in this podcast, where we saw Last Temptation of Christ.
The Passion of the Christ.
The Passion of the Christ,
not the Last Temptation.
In a cinema full of, well, we were like the only two people that were probably under 70.
Yeah, it was a matinee show, an afternoon showing in the middle of the week, and we weren't at work and decided to go and see it, and there was a pile of over 70s because we went up to the cinema counter to buy a few sweets, snacks and popcorn and stuff like that, and there's just a whole load of canes hooked onto to the thing, and we're like, what's going on?
But
a
when
rake of pensioners came back.
The torture started in the film, all you could hear is, oh Jesus,
poor Jesus, poor fella,
leave him alone.
We just stop whipping him, and we were down the back going, hee.
I really like that. We must actually look at that film again.
Kapla.
Well, he wasn't far wrong, was he? About some things.
Jesus Christ.
Not that I forgot about the whole fucking thing with the black woman. God.
Well, let's just steer away from all of that, yes.
Yeah, Jesus, I forgot all about fucking that shit. All of a sudden it just kind of went back into my mind about like that phone call that was recorded with him. No. He was wrong about everything.
Yes. Except for Lethal Weapon, he was very right about doing that film. It was very good. Yeah.
But look, that's it for this week.
And go and watch it.
Yeah, definitely watch it out of all of these things. Yes. As well, if you tune back in on Thursday, I think it's Hot Rod this week.
More stepdads who don't understand their teenage sons.
Where it's like a little bit more lighthearted than fucking Hamburger Hill anyway. So look, thanks for listening, and we might be back next week with more of this. Who knows? So until then, goodbye.